This is Triple T's, aka Tevin Thoughts and Takes podcast. Alright, so we are back with another video today. Today will be episode 6. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that is very dear to my heart, and it's probably why I have gained the amount of followers that I have gained, which is, i.e., because of my dogs. So, how many dogs do I have? I have 7 dogs in total. 7 dogs. Then you're gonna ask, why do I have so many dogs? And my honest answer to that is, I honestly just love dogs. As a kid, when I was in class, whenever we would have to write about certain topics or certain subjects, or we just had to write a paper about something, or I'm just doodling, I will always write that I have this dog, I have this many of this dog, I have this many of this dog. Like I say, I have a bunch of pit bulls or a bunch of Rottweilers or German Shepherds. Knowing damn well I ain't had none of them damn dogs. But it's just something that I always wanted. As a kid, I always wanted a lot of dogs. So when I became an adult, shit, I just started really. By the time I turned 18 and I moved out, I joined the army, I got my first dog. Because I had dogs growing up, but I didn't really have a dog that I would say I would consider mine. Well, I did. I had a dog named Kojak. He was a German Shepherd mix. That was probably my first dog that I can remember getting as a kid, Kojak. But when I turned 18 and I moved out and I joined the army, that's when I got my own, I would say my first dog that I only had to take care of for real, for real. And that's Brock. Brock was my first dog that I got. Shout out to my nigga Brock, because my Brock was the first dog that I got. So I'm gonna go from oldest to youngest of all of my dogs. So Brock is the oldest. Brock is 11 years old. Then it's Apollo. Apollo is 5 years old. Then it's Bubba. Bubba is 4 years old. Bubba is about to be 5 next month. So yeah, Bubba about to turn 5. Then Bella is 3. And then Dream is 3. Then Ellie will be 2 in March, I believe. And Tux turned 3 today. So everybody wish a happy birthday to my nigga Tux, man. Drop in the comments. Happy birthday, Tux. My man's turned 3 today. And he's really starting to come into his body. That's when male dogs really start to come into themselves, their full build, but not only as far as up, but out. So they grow taller and they grow wider. So he's really has grown into his frame. I can tell. I can tell the difference. But that was my nigga Tux. And Tux is also. I was. I was always said that Tux was the youngest, but now actually Ellie is the youngest. I'm sorry, the youngest. So Brock is the oldest. Ellie is the youngest. So a lot of people ask me what breed is Brock. Brock apparently is a presser and a pit. Do I really think he's a presser and a pit? I don't really know. But that's what I was told. He really looked like a Malinois for real. Like a blacked out Malinois. Or some type of shepherd, honestly. That's what he really looks like. And Apollo is an American bully, standard American bully. Bubba is a South African Borbal and a Presa Canario mix. Then we have Bella. Bella is a South African Borbal, Presa Canario, Pit Bull mix. So Bella is what we consider a band dog. I want to say a band dog is basically breeding a pit bull with any mastiff breed, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And then Ellie is a pocket bully. Dream is also an American bully. She is a standard as well as Apollo. Then Tux is a pocket bully. So 2 pocket bullies, 2 standard bullies, a band dog, and a big ass mastiff. So what is the purpose of me having all of these dogs? Why do I have these dogs? What do I plan on doing with these dogs? So my goal for my dogs is to create my own guardian working breed dog, as well as somebody who's never owned a dog. I want to be able to sell them a dog as well. So that's where my pockets come in. I would say a pocket would be a starter dog. Remember, pockets are starter dogs. Remember that. Drop in the comments right now what is the perfect starter dog. What you think is the perfect starter dog. Then I'm going to tell you what dog I believe is the perfect starter dog. So I basically want to create a working line. So I basically want to create a working guardian breed dog, honestly, with a strong and something that I would like my dogs to be able to do. So what I plan on doing with my dogs in the future, as well as the litters of the pups that I have in the future, the things that I'm going to be implementing in them is hunting, i.e., hog hunting. That's really what I want to use them for because a lot of people don't know that Presa Canarios and pit bulls and bulldogs are all catch dogs. So when I say catch dog, they're pretty much the dog that goes in once you've already figured out where the hog is or whatever it is that you're hunting, and you just send them in to catch the dog to pretty much contain the dog until the other dogs can get on it. They're like I would consider them they're the knockout blow of the dogs when it comes to hunting dogs. Heavy hitters, confident dogs, dogs that ain't backing down from shit. Those types of dogs. So that's what my goal is when it comes to creating my working line or my guardian breed dog. And I also want to create dogs that you can go do protection work with because the South African Boerboel and the Presa Canario are both guardian breed dogs. So with Bella and Bubba, so they'll be my guardian line breed and my working line breed, Bubba and Bella. So they're natural guard dogs. It's bred into them instinctively. So that's not something that you have to teach them necessarily to guard something because that's literally what they were bred to do. So that's a plus. And like I said, Bella and Bubba both have South African Boerboel and Presa Canario in them. So they're just born to guard, honestly. So if you decide to shop with me whenever we do get pups on the ground, this would be the type of dog that you would be getting from me. A dog that has packs in size, athleticism, intelligence, power. The most important thing out of all of these is healthy. A healthy dog. My dogs are some of the most healthy dogs out here. I'm going to say it again. My dogs are some of the most healthy dogs out here. Sorry, the healthiest, not the most healthiest. Or is it the most healthiest? Or is it the healthiest? I don't know, but y'all know what I mean. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing when you're going to get a puppy. If those of you out there who never have gone to get a puppy or have never shot for a dog, that is the most important thing out of all of the things that you should be looking for when it comes to buying a dog. Is the dog healthy? Is the parents healthy? Is the dad healthy? Is the mom healthy? All of those things matter. So health. Know for damn sure if you get a dog from me, it's gonna be a healthy dog. Solid structure, especially all of my dogs have really nice structure. But Bubba and Bella, especially with Bella's her front frame, she kind of got like a bow-leggedness to her. Damn. But me personally, I like that look that she has, and my hopes is that she passes that down to her pups. Cause I just try to. That's one of the things that I don't really like with Bubba is his chest. He don't really have a wide enough chest for me personally. I would like it to be a little wider and a little deeper. Pause. And that's where Bella comes in. Cause a lot of people don't understand. You're female. You're female. You're female. Is the most important part of start breeding dogs. That is one of the that is probably the most important thing to have is a good, strong, healthy female, as well as a good, strong, healthy male. All of your dogs should be healthy. But if I could give you really good advice, number one tip is start with a really good, healthy female. And I think Bella will correct a lot of the things that I don't like in Bubba. And there's not really a lot of things that I don't like in Bubba. That's probably really the only thing is just his chest. I would like to make that a little bit wider, a little bit deeper. Pause. But yeah, colorways. That's something that I'm also really excited for is the colorways that my dogs will produce, especially Bubba and Bella. They're probably my favorite litter. I'm excited for all my dogs to have puppies, but Bubba and Bella are definitely the ones that I want to see the most because I want to know how I want them to look, and I just want to know if they're actually gonna come out like I expect them to come out. Which I don't doubt that they will, but that's something that I'm really excited for because they can come in the colors anywhere from black, brown, brindle, all different shades of brindle. Fawn brindle, black brindle, brown brindle, like blue brindle. Bella's one of her litter mates is a blue grayish color. So mix that with Bubba, and that's already in her bloodline because her siblings have that color. The colorways are just gonna be endless. I think I'm most excited for a black male to be built like Bubba with Bella's chest. But with Bubba's size, I think that dog is gonna look the craziest. But yeah, confidence. My dogs are very confident dogs, and that's something that I work with them a lot. That's why I do a lot of the desensitization. A lot of people ask me what's the purpose of desensitizing your dogs to loud noises or gunshots? It's because that if it's ever a case where they're in the middle of protecting you or guarding you, and then say a gunshot goes off, they never heard a gunshot before, so it's gonna spook them and it may scare them, and that will deter them from protecting you from whatever threat there was at the time. That's why you desensitize your dogs to loud noises. Cause say your dog is guarding you, and then somebody just comes up being extremely loud, or they're making loud noises, and then that scares your dog. That defeats the whole purpose of a guard dog. That defeats the whole purpose of a dog in general. I feel like your dog should be your protection, no matter what the breed is. But anyways, confident dogs, speed. Bella is by far the fastest dog that I have. She's the most athletic dog that I have, and she is fast as fuck. So if you're looking for a dog that possibly you need for whatever reason for speed, it's just a bonus. I'm gonna be producing fast, athletic dogs with fucking the best agility out there. So that's my main thing. I want a healthy, athletic, intelligent, powerful, confident dog, and that's what I am producing. That is what I plan to produce. So that was Bella and Bubba pretty much. The band dogs and the mastiffs. That was Bella and Bubba. So now I'm moving on to the American bullies because I also have American bullies, which is Apollo, Ellie, Dream, and Tux. I won't be breeding Brock, obviously. And I wouldn't necessarily say that American bullies would be for somebody who doesn't have any dog experience, who's never been an owner of a dog. I wouldn't necessarily recommend an American bully, a standard American bully necessarily, just because I think, for one, it's a big dog. It can be an aggressive dog depending on the bloodline. If it's a working line American bully, then it could be aggressive. So, say for example, if you had a dog like Apollo, which has a very high drive, and me, I know how to manage him because I've had dogs my whole life, so I know how to tend to dogs. But say somebody who's never had a dog before and they were to get Apollo, I don't think that would be a good choice because, for one, Apollo has a lot of fucking energy. So if you somebody who's new to dogs, you may not necessarily know how to stimulate your dog, how to train your dog so your dog doesn't become destructive. And then a lot of people just look at a dog and think that it's destructive and think that it's a bad dog. No, whole time the dog just got a bunch of energy that it needs to let out. But you don't really know that because you ain't never had a dog before. So that's why I would say Apollo wouldn't necessarily be a good starter dog, but say Dream, who is also an American bully, I feel like she would be a good starter dog. But that's because of bloodlines. They are two completely different bloodlines. They were bred to do two completely different things. Dream is more on the bulldog side, I feel as though, because Dream doesn't have as high of a drive as Apollo does. Apollo has all the energy in the world. Dream, not so much. She'll do something for periods of time. She may sprint a couple times, but after that, she ain't really trying to do shit after that. So that's why I say it all really depends on the bloodline of the American Bully, honestly, if it'll be good for somebody who's never had a dog before. Apollo, no. Dream, yes. Apollo, I would say, is more on the pit bull side because his drive is a lot higher. So I would put him more on the pit bull side. And pit bull is not a good starter dog. It's not a good starter dog at all. Dream is more on the bulldog side because she's doesn't have as much energy. So, what y'all been waiting for? The best starter dog, in my opinion, I would say would be the Pocket Bully. And the reason why I say that they're the best starter dog is because one, they're pocket size, not pocket size, but they're a medium sized dog. I was gonna say small, but I wouldn't consider a pocket bully a small sized dog because a pocket bully can be anywhere from 30 to 50 pounds. I feel like so that's not really a small dog. That's more so a medium dog. So it's a medium sized dog. Does require exercise, but not as much as other dogs out there. And with my experience with pocket bullies, so I have Ellie and I have Tux. They're completely two different dogs. Ellie is more rambunctious. Ellie has more energy, and Tux has he can have a lot of energy, but in spurts, I guess you would say. But they're the perfect chill dog. They're not too big. They're not too small. Depending on how you exercise them and what you feed them, you can get them to look pretty crazy. Giving them the proper training, the proper food, pocket bully is gonna look crazy. The muscle definition that you can get on the pocket bully is some of the best out there, honestly. Some of the most muscular dogs out there, some of the most healthiest dogs you'll see out there. But that also depends on how you take care of the dog, so what you feed the dog. And they really don't come with a lot of health issues. I would say the main things that you might run into with a pocket bully would be rear hips may be higher than the front hips, or their feet are east west or west east, however that term goes. But there's things that you can put in place to help mitigate the problems that they do have. Like, how do you fix a dog who has bad feet? You just raise their food bowl so that way they kind of have to work and stand up on their toes to get to the food. And then with it doing that, it strengthens the phalanges in the dog's feet. So it allows it to stand on its toes taller, which then causes its front hips to be level with its rear hips. So that'll help. Raising your dog's food bowl will help with its feet as well as its posture. If you have a dog whose rear hips are slightly taller than the front shoulders. And that's really it. They may have a little bit of digestive issues as well, but that's a bully thing in general. But like I said, if you feed it the right things, you can kind of mitigate those issues. So, but in my opinion, I would say that the pocket bully is the perfect starter dog. Another question that people ask me a lot is, who is my favorite dog? So, I would say my favorite dog is probably between Tux and Bubba. The reason I would say Bubba is my favorite dog is because I feel like Bubba is exactly what I always pictured my dream dog to be. So when I was younger, I was only really exposed to two different types of dogs, which was Pressers. Well, two different dogs that I really liked, I would say. Pressers and Pit Bulls. And I remember when Pressers first came into my area, like the first people in my area started to bring Pressers down here. I just remember seeing a dog and just always wanted one because it was pretty much just like a souped up pit bull, like a pit bull on steroids for real, for real. That's how I looked at it. So when I got Bubba, Bubba was pretty much I always wanted a big ass, intimidating, athletic, muscular ass dog, confident dog. intelligent dog. And I feel like Bubba encompasses all of that. I feel like if I was a dog, I would be Bubba. Real shit. Real shit. If I was a dog, I would definitely be Bubba. And I would say Tux because Tux is the first smaller dog that I've had before. I've always had big ass dogs. So he was the first dog that I got that was a smaller dog that I realized the benefits of having a smaller dog, given that I've always had big dogs. I've never really had the experience having a small dog. So when I got Tux, I kind of got to experience that. And it's completely different. Like I can pick Tux up and just tote him around like a baby or some shit like that. I ain't picking Bubba up. I ain't picking Apollo up. They too damn big for all that. So it's just like a different experience with having a big dog and a small dog. So that's why I would say probably Bubba and Tux for real, for real. And some dogs that I would get in the future. So I would get a Dogo Argentino, a Pit Bull, a Bull Terrier, a Beagle, and a Tibetan Mastiff. But my plan was to get a Dogo Argentino and a Pit Bull and breed them and pretty much make another working line band dog, honestly. Because I want to say a Dogo is considered a Mastiff, and any Mastiff that has pit in it, I want to say is considered a band dog. So I feel like that also would be the perfect dog. Even though they're all perfect dogs already, but there will be some things that maybe I wanted to change about them or just experiment with. So a Dogo and a Pit Bull would definitely be a dog that I would breed together. And I like the Bull Terrier. I just like the head size of the Bull Terrier. Has a like how it has that distinct look to it. I fuck with that. And I had a Beagle as a kid, but I had to leave it outside and it froze. Yeah, that bitch froze. And I always wanted one since then. So I would get another Beagle. And a Tibetan Mastiff is also just another big ass guard dog that I would like to have on the farm. So, 'cause I grew up around Chow Chows. My dad fucked with Chow Chows. If you know anything about Chow Chows, them Chow Chows that bite a hole in your ass. Real shit. Chow Chows are one of the most aggressive dogs out there. A lot of people don't know that. And my icks in the dog community, some things that makes my ass itch in the dog community would be how somebody can see a dog on a chain or a dog being kept outside and they scream abuse and animal cruelty. Because who raised you bitches? Since when is keeping a dog in its natural habitat, which is outside? Dogs are animals. Dogs come from outside. I feel like a lot of people get that shit mixed up and we think that dogs and humans and kids are all the same. Dogs are not kids. Dogs are animals. They were wild animals until we domesticated them. Let's not forget that. Dogs don't belong in the house. Dogs weren't put on earth to be put in the house. That is just something as us humans we decided to do. A dog being in the house is a privilege. Anyways, so yeah, that's something that makes my ass itch. When people see a dog outside or a dog on a chain, they scream cruelty and animal abuse. Pisses me off. Next, I don't like micro bullies. I feel like they aren't functional dogs whatsoever. I want a dog that is functional, a dog that has a purpose, a dog that can run without dying. I don't like micro bullies. It might be an unpopular opinion, but oh well. Next, and the last one, and one that probably makes me the most upset, is obese and unhealthy dogs. That is animal cruelty. That is dog abuse. If you want to scream dog abuse, having an unhealthy, obese dog, that's fucking dog abuse. If you want to scream any about anything being abused, that is you abusing your dog. You are causing your dog health issues. You are causing your dog to have diabetes. Just causing an unhealthy dog outright. That is abuse. But people don't like to talk about that because a lot of they dogs be unhealthy and obese. But they think because they have their dog in the house in a bed with heat and AC, and you allow your dog to eat off of your plate, and you feed him with the same fork that you eat with, that's you taking care of your dog. It's not. So we gotta stop that shit. But yeah, that's a little bit about me and my dogs and why did I decide to get my dogs, my purpose of having them, my breedings. Oh, I didn't tell you. All of my puppies' prices will be the same. No matter if you get a puppy off of the litter from Bubba and Bella or Dream and Apollo or Tux and Ellie, all of my puppies' prices will be $5,500. Yes, $5,500. If you don't like it, you don't got a shot with me. I know what I put into my dogs. I know the time and the effort and the energy that I put into my dogs. Literal blood, sweat, and tears. Not figuratively, literally. Blood, sweat, and tears into this shit. So I'd be damned if I let another motherfucker tell me what I should price my dogs, my puppies, all because they know somebody who prices their dogs this way. That ain't got shit to do with me. These my damn dogs. So I'm gonna price them how I want to price them. And honestly, I should price more than that for real, for real. But with the dog shit, you really never gonna be on top when it comes to the money you make from your dogs. Which I'm not in it for the money. I just like dogs, and I know I have really nice dogs that will produce some really nice puppies. So I'm just gonna take advantage of that. And all of my bullies will come with papers. And so now I'm gonna be starting a clothing brand. And this is one of the shirts that I created last year time frame with my homeboy. I started making shirts and then I kind of just lost my motivation, honestly. I don't know why, but now I know that it's something that God has been putting on my heart and my mind to Tevin, you need to start this clothing brand. You need to start this back up. And I've been hearing that a lot these past couple weeks, honestly. So that's my plan now is to get my clothing brand, my merch brand back rolling. So I'm going to be doing black and white tees. This is my logo. The shirts will be $35. So it's pretty much just Bubba is right here. So this is a drawing of Bubba and then the B and the K for Bando Kennels. And then this is just a rose on the outside. And then here's another flower, another dogwood flower. So just try to encompass things that interest me. So Bubba, the BK logo, Bando Kennels, a rose, as well as a dogwood flower right there. Because I'm from the state of Virginia, so I like flowers, and the state flowers are dogwood. So these are some of the shirts that I made. And this is a sleeveless one that I made for the gym. So I like the sleeveless look, and it's cropped as well. So I realized I like making clothes and I like altering my clothes. And my clothes is a way of how I express myself. So I like to alter my clothes in different ways. So I thought, why not start a clothing brand? So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully y'all fuck with it. Hopefully y'all are interested in buying some of it. But this will be the first drop of t-shirts, black and white. So drop in the comments if you fuck with it. But this was episode 6. Today I talked a little bit about my dogs, my plans for them, who I plan to breed to who. So, and I also talked to y'all about my clothing brand that I plan on dropping. So stay tuned for that. I enjoyed talking with y'all tonight. We just hit 100 subscribers. That shit is crazy. I think 100 people that will sit there and listen to me talk and ramble. That's pretty cool. So I'm very grateful for all 100 of y'all. I want to say it's 103 subscribers on this channel now. So I want to say thank y'all for that. That was episode 6. Another banger. I'm gonna catch y'all next time. Peace.